Fallout, Darkest Hour. Chapter 4. On the open road, Dogmeat scouts ahead as Annabelle and Gilbert walk towards the market, both of them carrying backpacks full of items to trade. Annabelle, still nervous of the outside world, carries her baseball bat in hand. Yellow-grey clouds appear on the horizon, growing faster by the second.
Come on, surely you must remember.
No idea, it's just a blank.
You must have had a community, a group of people. Even if you don't remember them, they should be searching for you.
Unless they don't want to find me.
Don't say that.
I remember I have to find someone. I can't remember who.
Once you tell me, I'll help you find them.
Really?
Of course, we're friends.
Huh. You're my only friend that I remember.
Dogmeat is also your friend.
Ugh. You know I don't like dogs.
Up ahead, Dogmeat's ears pick up, sensing something. Annabelle and Gilbert catch up to Dogmeat, who is on guard.
There is a reason. I just don't remember what.
You really do have a memory problem. What is it, girl?
Critters.
Gilbert draws out his pickaxe, and Annabelle readies her baseball bat.
Any idea what's out there?
They look around in every direction, unable to see anything. The only thing of relevance is a corpse discarded on the side of the road. No weapons, just a blank shield, and leather armor on top of her clothes.
The clouds are getting closer.
Gilbert looks down at the tarmac road. A few broken patches where the earth can be seen lay scattered around.
Stay on the tarmac.
Why?
Tunnelers.
Or what do you mean? What's a tunneler?
From out of the earth, a massive mutated worm bursts out and lands on the tarmac. The tunneler readies itself before quickly pouncing onto Annabelle. Its mouth folds back, revealing several rows of small, sharp teeth. Dogmeat manages to catch it in the air and starts ripping it to shreds.
Oh, I'm guessing that's a tunneler.
Before Gilbert can reply, dozens more burst out of the ground and start attacking the group. They try to fend off the tunnelers, but they keep growing in numbers. Annabelle and Gilbert look to see the yellow-grey clouds have filled the sky, and small drops of rain begin to fall. A single drop lands on Annabelle's hand and starts to burn. Sensing the threat, every tunneler begins burrowing their way down into the earth.
Oh God, we need to find shelter.
Why?
The acid rain!
Never caused me any harm.
Annabelle quickly makes her way over to the discarded corpse and holds the shield over her head. Dogmeat follows, standing under her legs. The acid rain starts getting heavier.
Probably because you're a ghoul.
Annabelle looks down to see the leather armor on the corpse.
Gilbert, hold the shield while I put the armor on.
After spending the night in the treehouse, waiting for the coast to clear, Alice and Billy continue heading south. They walk along a cobblestone path. On their left is a dirt slope that leads down to a flowing river. Billy still has the backpack of supplies, and in her gloved left hand, she holds the scalpel she stole, their only weapon. Once they reach a bridge, they start to cross. The bridge's path is also made of cobblestones with no tarmac in sight. Billy makes her way over to the walled edge and looks down into the dirty water, which looks slightly green.
I don't think the water should be like that. What do you think happens if someone falls in?
They'll need to be taken to see a doctor.
Any idea what's causing that?
Probably from the acid rain. It doesn't occur often.
The rain didn't last long.
It never does.
We need to continue to the place Edward wanted to go. You know how to get there, right?
Yes. Though I'm not sure what good that will do.
If Edward escaped, that's where he'll go. If not, then we'll find help.
What about Bradley? Or assistance?
Bradley, we're better off without. Assistance is a robot, not a person.
Doesn't mean they should be left behind.
Let's just focus on the living. When we get there, where's the best place to go? Do you know anyone?
I've never been there before. Edward just told me about it.
Great.
He told me he had a friend who ran the bar.
Who was he?
She goes by Whiskey Val. Edward told me she owns a bar called Patty's, but he met her on the road traveling.
Will she be able to help us?
To do what?
I don't know.
Exactly. Are we trying to get back to Sanctuary? Rescue Edward? We don't know what to do. So how can someone help us when we don't know our own goal?
One step at a time. Let's find Whiskey Val.
Annabelle, Gilbert and Dogmeat arrive at the market. An old football stadium that's been fortified with a guarded single entrance. Some artist has taken the time to spray paint the market in black paint for all travelers to see. Underneath is small text reading, "The place where you never know what's growing." On either side of the entrance, a growing leaf has been painted in green. They walk up to the entrance with a single guard who is wearing damaged body armor and carrying a gun. With his mask on, it's impossible to tell who's underneath. Annabelle starts to get nervous, unsure who is about to greet them. She notices he's wearing a gold badge with the same growing leaf on the right strap of his harness. As they get close, the guard pulls the white helmet off, revealing a young, smiling, clean-shaven teenager with a head of shaggy brown hair. Annabelle relaxes, knowing he doesn't mean them any harm.
What brings you to the market today?
We're just here to get supplies. Is it normally this well guarded?
The Serpent Clan have been increasing their raids. Elias ordered higher levels of security.
Who's Elias?
Head of security. He's had this job for 5 years and no Viking has ever got past the front door.
He must know what he's doing.
If you like to go through, Elias will scan you.
Before Annabelle, Gilbert and Dogmeat have a chance to go through the entrance, a voice speaks, making them turn around.
Forgive me, sister. Have you thought about cleansing yourself?
As they turn around, they see 5 figures slowly walking towards them. 4 of them wear simple rags, while one in the middle has an atom symbol tattooed to his forehead. They all have their heads shaved and appear skinny as if they have been fasting.
Cleansing myself. I'm sorry. Who are you?
I'm Father Martin, and these are my novices. I mean you no harm. I wish to save your soul.
Please, I need you to move along.
Father Martin continues talking to Annabelle, as if the guard didn't exist.
You need to adjust your lifestyle if you want Atom to embrace you in his glow.
They're children of Atom. Best to ignore them.
I was not talking to you, heathen. Atom did not accept you.
Don't talk to him like that.
You, sister, still have time to cleanse yourself. Accept Atom in your life. Accept his glow. And if you're worthy, he will reward you. Your friend here wasn't worthy. Why do you think he turned into this creature?
He's not a creature.
We mean you no harm. We only want to do Atom's bidding and help his children.
I really must ask you to leave.
Come on now, brother. We will leave you in peace. I pray you see the light before it's too late.
Father Martin turns around and walks away with his novices following.
Sorry about that. They do mean well.
They didn't like Gilbert.
They're not a fan of ghouls.
But normal people, they have been known to help, providing food and water to those who need it. They used to be allowed into the market, but, well, after their comments towards ghouls, the mayor said they weren't allowed to enter.
They're not a threat. They stopped killing since the war. Nothing for me to worry about. Come on, let's get going.
Annabelle, Gilbert and Dogmeat enter through the gate into the beginning of a corridor stretching further down. The cement walls are bare, except for dirt.
Over here, I'll scan you now.
From out of a side room, Elias, a man in camouflage clothes, makes his way over, followed by an assaultron. Elias has a head of thick black hair and a mole on his right cheek. His walk shows authority.
What kind of robot is that?
I think I've seen one before.
You too been living under a rock?
I might have.
What is that robot? It doesn't look friendly.
Designation Assaultron, designed to provide a variety of security-related tasks. This is a restricted area. Any hostiles will be terminated.
It was my idea to get an assaultron for the front gate. Scans anyone coming through and extremely deadly. Almost impossible to stop.
Almost.
You're going to need an army to take out one of these.
You're not worried that it will turn on anyone inside?
I follow Elias's commands. Anyone seen as a hostile or a threat to his people will die.
I think that's enough talk for one day. Assaultron, scan our new guests.
Already been scanned. Access granted.
You may proceed. Follow the corridor.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
It was a pleasure, Miss.
Annabelle Potter. This here is Gilbert.
Enjoy your time at the market, Miss Annabelle Potter.
Elias returns back to the room, arms behind his back as the assaultron follows. Annabelle, Gilbert, and Dogmeat make their way down the corridor until they arrive inside the stadium. A variety of shacks have been built on the field and on top of each other, stretching into the sky. Paths of grass lead the way around the field. All along the alleyways, pop-up shops are open, with a variety of traders selling their goods.
Where do we start?
Sell our junk for caps. Then we focus on supplies.
They make their way over to a store titled Handyman's Goods. Underneath the main sign is a smaller sign, reading, "You've got it. We want it."
We got items to sell. Interested?
From behind the counter, a balding middle-aged man with his white hair combed back looks at Gilbert, his right eye closed and his left behind a monocle.
I'm sure there'll be something worth buying. Pleasure to meet you. People around here call me Junk.
Junk?
Yeah, it's a name that fits me.
How so?
I was abandoned as a child.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, don't be. Happens all the time. People being careless, and before they know it, they have an extra mouth that needs feeding. Junk is how I survived. Scavenged and sold. Kept me alive.
It's nice to meet you, Junk. I've got a backpack full of stuff to sell.
Annabelle places the backpack on the table. Junk pours the contents out on the counter and starts searching.
Haven't you got anything to add, Gilbert?
I only keep things I might have a use for.
A couple of interesting items, nothing rare. Few chems are the most valuable.
Gilbert looks at the chems, not wanting to part with them.
I'll give you 50 caps for the lot.
Annabelle looks at Gilbert, who looks back in confusion.
Bear with us for a moment.
Annabelle takes Gilbert a step away and begins whispering.
I've never used caps before. Is that a fair price?
I suppose.
Suppose?
I don't think we're in a position to bargain.
They turn back towards Junk.
50 caps will be good.
Junk points towards Gilbert.
On your back, the pickaxe. I'll give you 200 caps for it.
Oh, I need a weapon.
Well, 175 caps and I'll give you a machete. Still have a weapon.
Gilbert takes a moment to think about it.
I'm giving you a fair price. Does it have sentimental value?
No, just had it for as long as I can remember. Deal.
Gilbert hands over his pickaxe, and Junk gives them 225 caps, as well as a machete.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Alice and Billy arrive at the entrance to the market, and get greeted by the same guard.
What brings you to the market today?
We're here to see a friend.
Australian? Long way from home.
Yeah, like I said, we're here to see a friend.
What's the name? I can point you in the right direction.
Billy suddenly forgets the name and looks to Alice for help, who is staring off blankly. The guard starts to get suspicious. He stands a little taller and tightens his grip on his weapon.
I'll ask again. What brings you to the market today?
I can't remember their name, but Alice here.
Let them through, Matthew.
Elias and the assaultron emerge out of the room.
I had them scanned. No weapons were found.
Billy's right hand slowly moves to her pocket, double-checking she's still got the scalpel.
Yes, sir.
We can go in? Just like that?
If Elias says you're good to go, that's good enough for me.
Billy turns to Elias.
I'm guessing you're in charge?
Only the guards. I don't run the place. How did you know?
He's loyal to you. Hangs on your every word.
All of us guards are like that.
They are, but I would say you tend to go the extra mile than the others.
He got me this job when I was 12. It's thanks to him I didn't starve to death.
He smell like a father.
Elias.
It's fine, Matthew. I know how you feel. Besides, I see all my guards as my children. Even the older ones.
Is this going to take long? We're kind of in a rush.
Please forgive me. Go off and find your friend of a friend.
Alice and Billy walk down the corridor, entering the market. They freeze in place as the shacks loom over them, people moving around in a hurry.
This place is massive. All these people living together. It's amazing.
Too many people here. I don't like it.
More people the better. In a fight, you want to have more people on the other side.
Too many people here. I don't like it.
If you say so.
As they look around in shock, a man wearing a suit of armor comes strolling around the corner. With his helmet off, he holds his head up high. Billy stands in shock with her mouth wide open. The knight notices Billy's shock and smiles at her.
Are you a knight?
In shining armor. My name is Gwaine.
Mine's Billy, and this here is Alice.
It is a pleasure to meet such fine maidens as yourselves. You look lost. May I offer you any assistance?
We're trying to find a bar. Alice, what's the person's name?
Whiskey Val.
Now you say her name.
Ah, you're looking for Paddy's Pub. Down there and take a left. I would offer to take you there, but unfortunately I have to meet someone. I cannot afford to be late. Wouldn't look good for Camelot.
Gwaine turns around and continues walking down his path.
Did he say Camelot?
So?
You don't know Camelot?
What does it matter? We know where to go. Now come on.
So, I have some good news for you guys. I have fan mail, and not one. I actually have two. A couple of my runners encountered some fans and wanted to pass these on. The first one is here. Let's see now. It says, "Hey buddy, I've been listening to your radio for a while now. People have it on because it's the only thing on the air. Please stop. Anything has to be better than your voice. I'd rather listen to static all day than sincerely, Cynthia." Well, thank you very much, Cynthia. That was a pleasant letter. Now, the second one here, hopefully nicer. It's tied together with string. Got something inside it. It's a holodisc. Okay, 1 second here. Okay, it says, "Hey buddy, love the music. Keep playing those tunes. I'm a musician from America. Been over here a few months now. When Locke said he was one of your runners, I knew I had to send you this. Here's one of my songs, and hopefully you'll play it on the air." Well, all right then. Up next we have "Raiders on the Waste" by Julius Rockwell.
Raiders on the Waste. Well, the Raiders camp was sitting just several yards right from the tracks. If you're traveling that railway, then you better watch your backs. They say Raiders will get you if you're 10 miles from their land. You'll never see them coming for you're buried neath the sand. Buried neath the sand.
Annabelle, Gilbert, and Dogmeat make their way down a path, which opens up to a circular bar in the center of the clearing, and more paths expanding in every direction.
Ah, Gilbert. Long time no see.
At the bar, an elderly lady with a face full of wrinkles holds her hand up to Gilbert before reaching over, turning the radio off. A purple scarf wraps around her head, hiding her hair. After a slight pause, Gilbert makes his way over as Annabelle and Dogmeat follow.
You know me.
How much did you have to drink last night?
None, just a few drugs. He's got memory problems.
Maybe that's because of the drugs.
She does have a good point.
How do you know me?
About a month ago, met you on the road. Rambling on about some snowman. Oh, I did ask around about Jacob. I'm afraid there's a few, so you're gonna have to narrow it down.
Who's Jacob?
On the road, you told me you had to find Jacob before it's too late.
A man sits down further along the bar and calls out to Val.
Val, it's been a tough day. Give me the drink you love.
Whiskey coming right up. I gotta go, Gilbert. If you come by later, I can tell you more.
Whiskey Val disappears and Annabelle turns to Gilbert.
You never mentioned a Jacob to me.
I don't remember a Jacob.
There was a Jacob at my settlement. He never left the place, so it couldn't have been him.
Annabelle notices Gilbert looking off into the distance, confused.
So, what are we going to do?
We got caps. Let's go get supplies.
Annabelle, Gilbert, and Dogmeat walk away from Paddy's to search the rest of the market. At the bar, Whiskey Val continues talking to the customer when Alice and Billy turn up.
What can I get for you two?
Alice looks at the floor, leaving Billy to do the talking.
Are you Whiskey Val?
That's me. I don't believe I know you.
You don't, but you know our friend Edward.
I know a couple Edwards. Where's he from?
His settlement is Sanctuary.
Ah, that Edward. Did he make it out of Sanctuary alive?
What happened to Sanctuary?
Don't you two know? It got attacked. Vikings attacked the place and took it over.
What about the people who live there?
I've heard different reports. Some say they all died, others say they kept some alive. What about Edward? What's happened to him?
He wasn't at Sanctuary. He was at Morton Docks. He was taking us back when we had some trouble with Vikings. We escaped, but Edward got captured. We were kinda hoping you could tell us how to get back to Sanctuary.
I'm sorry, but there's nothing there for you now. Here.
Whiskey Val puts a couple of shots of whiskey on the bar.
These are on me. Tonight you can spend the night round my place and we'll sort something out tomorrow.
A woman with long ginger hair arrives at the bar. She pulls the big headphones off her ears and puts them around her neck. Flowing down from her neck is a camouflage cape. Reaching into her satchel, she pulls from it a bottle of whiskey and places it on the wood counter. Her blue eyes look up and a grin appears on her face.
Val, I've got a present for you. Also, I have a few questions if you don't mind answering, sister.
Ooh, that is a rare brand. You know me too well, Church. I'll be back in a bit, girls.
Whiskey Val walks away to answer Church's questions. Billy picks up the shot of whiskey and looks at it before drinking it in one gulp.
Ugh. That tastes awful. People drink this?
I don't. I just stick to water.
I have to admit, it has made me feel better. Can I have yours?
Sure.
Billy takes the second shot of whiskey and drinks.
Still tastes awful. So, what are we going to do now?
Alice remains frozen in place, completely silent.
Hey, I couldn't help but overhear. I've got someone who might be able to help.
The stranger quickly walks away without waiting for a response. The only thing Alice and Billy see is the back of her trench coat.
Come on, before we use them.
With the whiskey starting to have an effect on Billy, she follows without thinking.
Are you sure?
She says she can help.
Billy and Alice follow the stranger down a path leading out of the field and back to the stadium. They enter a corridor and walk down to an old changing room, now used for storage. Alice and Billy stand with their backs to the door looking around the old lockers. As the door closes, two Vikings come out from the shadows. One manages to grab Billy around her stomach with both arms and lifts her up. As she gets pulled up into the air, the whiskey makes its way back up, causing Billy to throw up on the Viking. The Viking drops Billy, horrified to be covered in vomit. As Billy falls on the floor, her blue backpack comes off. Using this chance, Billy punches the Viking in the face and turns towards Alice. Seeing another Viking about to grab her, Billy charges across the room and jumps on top of the Viking.
Alice, run!
With Billy fighting off the Vikings, Alice grabs the backpack of supplies, opens the door, and starts running down the corridor back to the field, with a Viking following, hot on her heels. Annabelle, Gilbert, and Dogmeat have somehow managed to end up in a back alleyway. The place, dimly lit, looks like trouble.
I really don't think we should be in here. Maybe we should just turn back.
You're not gonna get murdered. It's just a place for guards know not to patrol.
Annabelle and Gilbert look around, trying to find the owner of the voice.
Who said that?
Show yourself.
I'm up here.
Annabelle and Gilbert look up to see a young man leaning out of a window on the third-floor shack. His left hand holds the window, while his right holds a can of spray paint. In the little light available, the man looks nothing more than a shadow.
What are you doing up there?
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm spray painting, in case you haven't heard the term.
Why?
Because it's fun. I'm making art, no matter how much the mayor complains. He got me to make the sign out front, but anything inside, he tries and punish me. Okay, maybe I did draw a massive cock in his office building. In my defense, he did underpay me.
What's your name?
My name? You guys must be new. My name's Luke. Luke the artist.
More like Luke the arse.
Luke, you said it's safe around here?
Aye. It's a back alleyway. The guards leave it alone due to the drug trades. Rather have it here than out with the public. Everyone thinks of the market as a clean place. But I tell you, there's a cancer here and it's growing.
Could you possibly tell us the way back to the shops?
Go back the way you came and make a left. You'll see a sign.
Thank you, Luke. Come on, Gilbert.
Annabelle, Gilbert, and Dogmeat follow Luke's directions and arrive at a row of shops. They look around the various stores, trying to find items to spend their caps on.
Food, water, medicine. A wide range of supplies that's supplies for you.
Excuse me. We need some supplies. Any chance you could help us?
Of course. Tell me what you need and I'll search my databank to see what we've got.
We need plenty of wood. Hammer, nails, or a screwdriver and screws. Oh, And a sleeping bag.
Scanning stock databank.
A sleeping bag.
Come on, last night you slept on the floor. We need to get something for you.
I have your request. Wood shipment 50 for 100 caps. Screw shipment 25 for 400 caps. Hammer for 25 caps. Sleeping bag for 50 caps. Screwdriver and nails out of stock.
Annabelle turns to Gilbert.
How many caps did we get?
225.
I remember Clancy telling me that screws were hard to come by.
Who's Clancy?
He was a person that I used to know. It doesn't matter. We can't afford the screws anyway. We can afford the sleeping bag, the hammer, and the shipment of wood. Let's just do that.
Robot, are we able to carry the shipment of wood?
I would recommend having a cart.
No point buying wood if we can't carry it. Long journey back.
I didn't even think of that. We'll take the hammer and the sleeping bag.
The Servotron moves along its rail, traveling into the store. After a minute, the robot comes zooming back out with a sleeping bag and a hammer.
Would you like a bag? Only 5 caps.
No, thank you.
Gilbert picks up the hammer and sleeping bag, placing them both in his backpack. The group leaves the store and makes their way along the path.
Take care. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Annabelle, Gilbert, and Dogmeat reach the edge of the field, still inspecting the stores. From one of the corridors, Alice comes running out, followed by a Viking. The Viking jumps on Alice, causing her to fall onto the grass.
Ah! Hey, get off her!
Annabelle, followed by Dogmeat, run over to Alice and drags the Viking off her. Dogmeat jumps in front of Alice, protecting her. Everyone nearby stops and stares at the scene unfolding. 2 guards come over and grab hold of the Viking. One pulls out a walkie-talkie.
Elias, come in. We need you near Patty's. We've got a bit of a situation over here.
On my way.
People gather around, trying to see what's happening. Alice, Annabelle, and Dogmeat remain inside the circle with the guards and the captured Viking. An overweight man in a dusty blue suit comes hobbling over, resting on a cane as he bursts out of the crowd. His slicked back hair is pure black, while his handlebar moustache is white. Around his neck is a big golden chain with the same badges the guards wear.
What's going on here?
As soon as he sees the Viking, his mouth drops, and his cane falls on the grass.
Have you called Elias?
He's on his way.
Elias comes bursting out of the crowds, followed by his assaultron.
No weapons detected.
Don't worry, Mayor. I'm here. What's the situation?
Look at him. A Viking inside the market. Serpent Clan haven't attacked in ages. We thought they'd given up attacking us.
He might not be from Serpent Clan.
What do you mean?
He's got no colors. He could be from a different clan.
So what do we do?
I question him and I find out how he got through security. He might even reveal which clan he is from. As for yourself, give a speech.
Elias pats the mayor on the shoulder before walking over towards the guards.
Come on, boys. Let's get him to my office.
Yes, boss.
The crowd steps back as the guards with the Viking get near, as if they could catch something. Elias and his assaultron follow. The mayor reaches down, picking up his cane before standing tall to address the crowd.
As mayor of the market, I will not allow this to go unnoticed. I will do everything in my power to keep the market safe. Everyone's safety is my number 1 priority. And I will get Elias to recruit more guards.
Annabelle looks down at Alice, who is still lying on the floor. Annabelle bends down and holds out her hand.
Can I help you?
Hi, it's Buddy again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy our content, then consider supporting us through Patreon, where you can get a bunch of rewards and cool stuff and keep up to date with what's going on. And don't forget to follow and subscribe on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter for all of our future content. And just to let you know, this was performed by a group of amazing voice actors, not including me. And all of the links are in the descriptions below. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Raiders on the waist. Well, the Raiders' camp was sitting just several yards right from the tracks. If you're traveling that railway, then you better watch your backs. They say Raiders will get you if you're 10 miles from their land. You'll never see them coming for you, buried neath the sand. Buried neath the sand. But there's a raider I did meet one day by the name of Snarlin' Pete. We crossed ways in a town looking for a meal to eat. His face, it was disfigured as if a rat roach had its way. I thought I'd met my end when I met the man that day. When I met him on that day. But he sat down next to me at a bar in the center of the town. He ordered double whiskey, and his caps he did throw down. He turned his head to face me as he took another sip. Said, boy, I'd like to tell you about a time I took a trip. A time I took a trip. Now the raider, he spoke softer than many men I'd met before. Told me tales of all his journeys and all his mighty raider scores. And then he told me of the big one that was sure to make him rich. And he asked me if I'd join him to fill his extra hitch. If I'd fill his extra hitch. Well, he laid it all before me, and I just could not refuse. Said the plans to hit that Robco plant, whose machines were still in use. But it was full of 7 green ones that were surely gonna fight. And he promised me they'd fear him when he showed them his true might. When he showed them his true might. Well, we got there just past 7 as the sun was going down. And I tried to listen closely and I couldn't hear a mutant sound. And it wasn't long before I felt a switchblade at my neck. And I realized in an instant it was the man that I had met. It was the man I had met. You know, it was 6 months in his camp where they slaved me night and day. And it took a lot of planning before I could even try to slip away. So never trust a raider if you ever have the choice. They may sound friendly now, but they will show you their real voice. Oh, they'll show you their real voice. The Raiders on the waist.